Well, good Friday afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Don't forget to subscribe up and hit the like button here. Help a brother out, because it definitely helps out with the algorithms. Couple things that are interesting. I know I always say interesting a lot, and I know it annoys some people, but if I annoy you, I'm sorry. I am what I am. With TJ Watt getting paid here, okay, here's the argument for Micah Parsons for getting paid more than that. If you look at some of the Twitter trolls out there, they'll say, well, Micah Parsons, well, he just relies on gimmicks and this, that, and the other. It's not like he faces double teams or anything else. TJ Watt is just out there beating people and double teams and everything else, and that's why he's better than Micah Parsons. Okay, I hear what you're saying, but there's things that you believe are true, and then there are things that are actually true. First things first. Not the show. That show's still going to be on Fox. Micah Parsons gets held and very rarely gets calls. I want to say that in the last 2 seasons, there's been 3 holding calls that were called for Micah Parsons. 3. And when you see some of the holdings that are going on, in fact, the cover picture I'll put on here is Micah Parsons being double teamed and being held by 2 guys. And that's just not an isolated incident. That stuff happens with him all the time. He does not get the calls. If the officials actually called holding, you'd probably have 5 holding calls a game, which would be game changers. Literally. Well, here's the facts. Micah Parsons had more pressures than TJ Watt, right? More pressures than TJ Watt. Understanding that he is not getting, he is not getting the calls. But guess what? This one just actually blew my mind. Micah Parsons has 31.5%. That's almost a third. 33.3 would be a third. So let me go ahead and be accurate on this, because when I say almost a third of the time, Micah Parsons is doubled or triple teamed. The highest in the NFL. Let me say again, Micah Parsons has the highest pressure rate in the NFL last year, while being double teamed and triple teamed more than any other player in the league, while not getting the calls for being held. And here's where it's crazy. If you are an offensive line coach, what you do when you are teaching your players to go against Micah Parsons? If he's beating you, hold him. Hold him. Chances are you won't get called for holding. If you don't hold, I can guarantee you he's going to change the play for your quarterback. So I believe that if they're not, they should be. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you hold him if you don't think that you're going to call it? Because that's what they do. They do not call holds against Micah Parsons. They just don't. And so the argument of saying TJ Watt, well, he's just better. Well, here's the thing you have to look at. Micah Parsons, 4 years younger, higher double teams. And here's the thing about double teams. Just the fact that he requires more double teams than anybody else. That means when I have two guys on here, the offense doesn't get an extra guy to put out there. That means somebody else on that defense does not account for anybody, or is not accounted for by anybody. They have 9 guys to take care of 10 players. Then that means somebody else should feast. And part of the reason why Osa and Digizua maybe had as many pressures as he did is because Micah Parsons is getting so many. And see, this is where the Cowboys need to understand that they shouldn't be just satisfied to say, well, Micah Parsons, he gets all these pressures and that's great, we're in good shape. That they should be out there trying to maximize it by getting other players that are good. If you get a defensive tackle that requires double teams as well, then that means you got 2 players that aren't accounted for by the offense. And that's where the plays come in and are being made. Or Micah Parsons gets single coverage. And Micah Parsons one-on-one, I'm betting on Micah Parsons. I don't care who he's going against. But, yeah. And for those out there that say, well, he's being greedy. Well, if you're the best in the business, if you're requiring double teams and still having a higher pressure rate than everybody else, you deserve your money. And don't be mad at Micah Parsons for getting his money when he said, clearly, he threw shots across the bow of the Cowboys, basically preemptively saying, listen, I was motivated to get this done last year. I'm waiting for the Joneses to get this thing done. It's the Joneses that won't call my agent. It's not me. So if the money goes up and I'm, going to take home an extra $5, $6, $7 million a year, well, hey, you want me to turn it down? It's not my fault. I'd been happy if you'd got me done last year at 35. But since the market has changed, you can't live in last year. So the Joneses have nobody to blame but their damn selves on these. And it's crazy because then they'll cry, well, there's no money to go around here. These players got to understand that when they take the lion's share of money, it's keeping it from us. No. When you dick around and don't get these things done in a timely fashion, that's what costs you the money, that costs you the players, that costs you going to Super Bowls. There you have it. Alrighty, good people. Job number 1 is done and in the books. Now I'm headed off to job number 2. Need to stop by the house because I forgot to put the tile saw on like an idiot. So it's going to cost me a little more time. But don't forget, tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, we'll be live streaming for you. And can't wait to be talking pre-camp. Peace out.